Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? Hi. It feels weird doing a stream that's not for a block because I haven't done this in over 2 months. Oh, almost 3 months. I haven't filmed tutorials in 3 months. But I have two tutorials that popped up that I realized this week whenever I was showing some stuff off on my live stream on Twitch. I'm like, I don't have tutorials for these things. So what we're going to do tonight, two tutorials. We're going to learn how to do applique paper. I'm not... Oh, Marley can hear me talking. I'm not going to... All right, come here. I know. Hi. I know. You're a very good boy, aren't you? Yes, Mommy's talking. So, yes, to the point. Right, exactly. You thought it was a block. No, it didn't help that on the schedule that you see, it was a 4-hour booked stream. Whatever. Whatever. But no, so the block is going to be in 2 weeks. Block is going to be on March the 17th. Next week, I'm not going to be doing any YouTube because I am lecturing at a quilt guild. So that's going to be fun. Yeah. Now, tonight we're going to do two things. We're going to do I'm going to how to use applique paper. I'm not going to do the actual sewing. We will talk about that, but all I'm going to be doing tonight is basically showing you this is what you do with applique paper. These are the tips and the tricks of how to attach it, how to do these things. And yeah, we'll take care of that. And then I can get that tutorial up. I may do that for Tuesday because, yeah, I may do that for Tuesday. Just because I've got a quilt pattern coming out, a charity pattern. Basically, it's taking the Konami code and applying it for charity for Starlight. So I've got that pattern that's being released. It's only being released with donations to Starlight. If you're interested in it and you don't have it, message me, let me know, and I'll show you how to get that pattern. But there's an applique block in there, and I'm like, I don't have a video on this is how you applique. For basically, we're going to be doing the raw edge fusing of the applique. And then the other thing that popped up is someone that had 2 strips of fabric and they wanted to line them up a certain way, but they weren't quite sure how to make sure that it was going to have a perfect point. So I was like, you know what? Let's go through that. Now, I did demonstrate on live, this is how you do the thing, but I'm like, I think I need a video on this. So we'll be taking care of that tonight as well. And yeah, we're going to be doing those. All right. We should probably get to it, shouldn't we? Right, Marley? Yeah. It's probably not going to take us too long tonight. Maybe an hour. Probably not too long. I know. Would you... Are you staring at the treats? Okay. Okay. Does Marley want a treat? Yes. Okay. Was that a good treat? It was a good treat. All right, so I've got I still have a few things to set up for the tutorials. I started working on this. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. I started working on setting up for the actual tutorials, and I didn't quite finish because I was working on another project today. Wait, not that one. That one. There we go. There we go. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do is get this done. And yes, I don't have any lines. Yeah, I've been practicing. I've been practicing my straight lines for the half square triangle connectors without any lines, without anything at all. It's just a matter of learning how to point. So what I've done is I've put the sticker right here so I can line up the actual line. And then I just make sure. Alright, let's see how well I did. Let's see how well I did with that. Alright. So that one, it's a little off, but that's okay. I mean, these aren't going to be perfect, right? Oh, that one's perfect. Look at that. That is a perfect, that's a perfect one. Alright, so, let me go ahead and do these. And then, that. There we go. Now, I'm not going to keep this overlay on whenever I'm doing the actual filming. The actual filming, I'm going to take this part off. I have glitter all over my cutting mat. So if you see I was using glitter fabric earlier, and there's like little bits of it everywhere, and it's annoying me. So if you see little bits of fabric everywhere, I'm sorry. I'm already annoyed by it, and I'm not even done with the secret project that I'm making that uses the glitter fabric. Ugh. Such a pain. Such a freaking pain. Alright, so I've got you guys. Alright, and then I'm thinking for the, which shape should I draw? Probably there's a heart. I'm thinking for that, I should just use that kind of fabric. So, I'm just going to cut a piece of fabric out. There we go. Perfect. So I can put that away. Alright, let me iron this. Okay. Alright. That is good. And let me iron this. And then I can square it up. I also need to do a tutorial on how to square a block up, but preferably a larger block, because this one is not quite larger. So, like, I swore I did a video on it, but I can't find it anywhere for the how to square a block up. Like, I know I've got one somewhere. Maybe I'm just thinking that I did it on one of my quilt-alongs or something like that. And I just don't know where the actual video is to cut the stuff out. I'll just have to, when I make a block of something somewhere, I'll just have to set it aside and do a video on how to square stuff up. Okay, alright. So that is ready for the second tutorial. Perfect. Okay. So let me iron these, and then we will do the tutorial. So just like I normally do, I'm going to do the actual filming of the meat first. And then once I get the actual, okay, so there, so I want it up there, so towards there. And then once I get the meat of the tutorial filmed, I get basically everything done, then I will switch the cameras around and I'll film the beginning and the ending. There we are. So my goal is to basically do that. So this is what I'm doing in the tutorial. Is I just took 2 strips of fabric and I sewed them using a 45-degree angle. Trick, if you ever want to sew a 45-degree angle, all you do is you take a piece of fabric like this, and you take another piece of fabric and lay it across like this, and then sew it at the diagonal from here to here, like you saw me do. And then whenever you iron it, well, then you'll have that 45-degree angle. Just like that. And in here, let's say if I wanted to have another one here, so if I wanted this piece right here, at this point I would cut it off right there, and I would do the same thing, but then go that way, and then just trim it. I would trim the fabric right here, off of there. So it'd give you a nice like little V within it, just to kind of like make it cool. But yeah. Okay. Oh, let me get all of the little hairs off. All right, you ready to go? Let's do this. So let's do this. And video filming, perfect. Oh, it is upside down. Let's see. Transform, rotate 180 degrees. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. I have to wait for the iron. We turn the steam off because the steam's not... There we are. The steam was talking. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I should probably cut these shorter. Yeah, let me cut these shorter. That way it's not that bad. And move out. There we are. All right, so let me... Okay. Perfect. And then here, because these are not going to line up perfectly whenever I sew them together, and that's the point. The point is squaring it up after and figuring that out. Or you know what? That should be good. That should be fine. Hey, ranting hamster! I am. Yep, I am. I am absolutely showing that in the exact same way. Also, you mentioned something on Friday, and I shot you a Discord message a few days ago, and you never responded, ma'am. Just saying. Just saying. Hey, BJ. I didn't even see you say hi. How are you? Okay. So, glitter. Freaking glitter. Okay, so it's going to go just like that. All right, we ready? All right, let's take a look at these two strips of fabric. I have two 45-degree angles that I'm going to be sewing together. So I want it to look like this. Well, the problem is if I do this, and then if I sew it just like that, well, it's not going to line up. It's going to be off because of our 1/4 inch seam allowance. Well, how can I match these up and have a perfect lineup with a 1/4 inch seam allowance? So this is how you do it. And you can do this for any seam that you want to make sure matches and lines up. So the first thing you want to do is I want to match this line to this line, and this one's going to go on top. So what I want to do is I want to mark a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down this. So I want to figure out what is this 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I don't think that's going to show up, so let's use the dark one. It will show up on here. It's one of the reasons why I picked the black fabric for here. Okay, so 1/4 inch, perfect. And mark this all the way down. So our entire strip, as you see, I've marked where that 1/4 inch seam allowance is. All right, so now I'm going to take this and, oops, it goes that way. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to line this up where I think it's going to line up. All right, I'm going to put a pin going this way. So the pin is going parallel to my line. Then I'm going to finger press on that line. So I'm taking this line here and I'm finger pressing it open. Now you see when I do that, that's still off. That is not lined up. So what I want to do is I want to move this. I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to shift this down to the left. Okay, so let's put our pin in here. Now we want to put our pin in there. That way as we're checking our seam allowance and we're moving this up, that we're not shifting the fabric. The fabric is staying exactly where we want it to be. Okay, so let's take this and on that seam, uh-oh, that's pretty darn close. I think I've got it. I think I've got that. All right, so let's see. So if that's going to be where I go, now whenever I put this in my machine, I'm going to put it in this way and sew that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on and put my pins in facing the direction that I'm putting it into the sewing machine. Okay, so I'm taking these and I'm putting it in just like this. And then when I put it into the sewing machine, I'm going to sew straight down. I'm actually going to follow this line. I'm going to make sure I sew directly on this 1/4 inch line. I'm not going to measure a 1/4 inch. I'm going to do on here because that's what I use to measure this seam. All right, so let's take it to the sewing machine. I'm going to speed up the video. I'm going to iron it. We'll come back and we're going to check to see how it looks. You know what I did? I forgot to hit start recording. Well, shoot. Do I have to do that again? I forgot to hit start recording. And the problem is if I download it from YouTube, the sound is all wonky and off. And it's not as loud as I like it to be. No. You know what? I'll up the sound for that one. It's fine. I'll up the sound. And then I'll keep going. I've got it recording right now, though. All right, so where is close up? There we are. All right. And we've got there. Yeah, and all I did was say hi, and you didn't respond back. I mean, all you had to do was say hi back. That's okay. Wait, no I didn't. Never mind. Never mind. That was something else. Ignore me. Alright, we've got that. And then down. Perfect. Alright. So now let's switch it back over to here. Nope, nope, nope. Right there. There we go. We want to do that. I'm off today. I'm just tired. Alright. And then here. I'm going to cheat. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. Haha. First try. First try. Okay, there we are. And there's our seam. There it is. And that is nicely lined up. So do that for any of your seams, that if you're not quite sure how it's going to work, but you want to have a perfect lineup, that's the trick. That's all you have to do. And the iron in the background. Man! Alright. We've got that one. And there. Yeah, so Ranting Hamster, whenever you get a chance to take a look at them, let me know. Although I am still looking for one more person to edit. Hopefully. Hopefully. Okay. All right, so we've got that. So, oh, did you just forget that I sent that to you? Basically? Okay, so now Steam. Okay. Alright, let's do tutorial number 2. Video filming. There we go. How you use applique paper. So applique paper is basically just a fusible web that has paper on it. The paper is on one of the sides, not both of the sides, just one of the sides. And it would help if I could actually get a piece out of here. I'm going to take this one. There we go. So here's some applique paper. I'm actually going to be using the Steam. There is a lot of different kinds of applique paper that you can use. But basically, if it calls for applique paper, it's this. Now, when you take the paper out and you feel it, there's going to be a smooth side. That's the side that has the paper on it. And there's going to be a rough side. And you know what? I lied. The Steam has no rough side because there's paper on both sides. So we're going to take one of those pieces of paper off. There we are. Now I can feel the rough side. So we have a smooth side and we have a rough side. If you can't feel that rough side or the sticky side, that just means that you have paper on both sides. Take a piece of paper off, okay? I know that there's a bunch of other brands out there that just has the single one and so on and so on. All right, so what we're going to do is you want to take your design and you want to draw it onto your paper design. So let's say if I want to draw a heart. All I'm going to do is draw a heart onto here. And I've got it onto my paper. Then I'm going to take my paper scissors and, whoops, there we are. And I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so we've got our heart here. And I'm going to cut this out. There we are. Now, you don't have to cut this out right away. You can actually just cut around, and I will show you that next. But what you're going to do is then take this and put this on the wrong side of your fabric. So let's say if we want to take this fabric and attach it to this piece of fabric here. You want to take your applique paper, stick it on the wrong side just like that, and iron it. Now, depending upon the applique paper you use, you may or may not want to use steam. The Steam actually says use steam, and they want you to use steam. Okay, so we've got that heart on there, and it's there just fine. Now, we're going to take and we're going to cut this heart out onto here, just like this. Let's cut this heart out. There we are. We've got our heart. Perfect. Now, we want to take our heart and we want to put it onto here wherever we want it. Now, what we want to do is we want to remove the paper. So what you'll notice is when you take this paper and you remove it, you should feel glue now onto your fabric. If your paper does not come off, there's a trick you can use, and I'll show you that on the next step. Now, there is no such thing if your Applique paper calls for steam. If there's too much steam, you can't do that. It's fine. You can do that. If it calls for steam, give it as much steam as you want. So we're going to pull this paper off, and we're going to take this heart, and we're going to put that onto our other piece of fabric, and we're going to iron that on. Now, if your applique paper asked for steam, use the same thing. Use steam whenever you're putting this on here. And there we are. It's on there. Now, this is not a permanent fix. You still have to sew this on here. At this point, this is what's called a raw edge applique. So you can do a stitch all the way around. You can do a blanket stitch, which goes in and out. You can do a zigzag stitch. However you want to do it, go ahead and sew this on at this point. Now, what if you have something that it has a direction? So let's say if you have a word or letters or something like that. Let's say if the letter S. Okay, so we've got the letter S, right? If we were to take this and put it on our fabric just like that and iron it and cut it out and then sew it on, well, what's going to happen is that S, silly glitter fabric, the S is going to be reversed. So the S is going to be backwards. So if you want to make something that's like this, my suggestion is to either flip the piece of paper so that you trace it going backwards, or what I do if I freehand something, I just do this. I just draw it on the actual glue side, then I flip it over and I redraw it using a light board or something else. In fact, I can't see, so I'm going to have to use my light board. So I'm going to speed up, you're going to see me speed up the video, I'm going to trace this, and then we'll come back and I'll cut it out and show it to you. There we go. And there we are. And there. And there. Perfect. All right. So I've got that. Now, if you don't have a light board, you can also take this and put this up in the window. If you actually hold it up to a window, the light will come in and you can see it and you can trace on the opposite side. That's whether you draw it here or you have it on a piece of paper that you want to see it through. All right, so in this case, remember I said I was going to show you how to do the other way. All you really have to do is cut around it, okay? Then we want to put this onto our fabric that we're going to be putting on our other fabric. So this is the wrong side of the fabric that I want to be my applique, okay? So let's iron this with some steam, all the steam. There we are. And now let's cut this out. So because I have it like this, I can just cut this directly out. Now remember, I reversed this S. And because I reversed this S and I ironed it to the wrong side of my fabric, it should come out perfect. There we are. And there. All right. Now, I said I was going to show you the trick if you couldn't get the piece of paper off. So if I can't get this paper off, you can score the back. You can either use a pin. If you have a pin, you can score the back. Or I like to use some scissors. You can take the scissors and just score it just like that. Don't cut through it, just score it. Because then when you score it like this, you see what happens? And that only goes through that paper. And you can easily then pull this off. And the glue is on the S. So now I can take my piece of fabric and take my applique, put it where I want it on the paper. Now that glue will allow it to stay temporarily until you want it to move around, and then until you iron it. Once you iron it, it's not permanent, just temporarily there until you can sew it on. Now remember, this is for the raw edged fusible applique. It is not for hand turned applique, which is something completely different. This is the easy way of just doing regular applique. You can now attach this on here using hand stitches or machine stitches. Either one is perfectly okay, but you want to secure this on here somehow by, like I said, by machine stitches, or you can hand embroider it, hand applique it. And there you go. Hey, thanks for that, Bookworm. Thanks for asking that. You put in the later bucket. Forgot the. I completely forgot to mention that you can hand applique it as well. Hand sew it, hand embroider it. Yeah, you don't have to machine it. It's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. That's why I like filming these whenever I'm live on YouTube, because then if you have any questions, concerns, or things you want to point out, I can be like, oh, this thing, yes. Okay, so let's move these. Let's put this away. I love my light board. This is a light board that I have by Daylight, and Daylight's awesome. It's a great company. All right. That is trash. These are scraps. That is trash into there. This goes back into here. I actually use Heat and Bond. That's what I couldn't think of the other company. That's what I couldn't think of. Yeah, so I actually use Heat and Bond for a lot of my my applique, but the Steam is just easier to use, especially for tutorials. Alright, so we've got that. This is all trash here. Okay, let's do this. So, that's both of my tutorials. I told you it was going to be nice and fast today, Miss Sylvain. I said today was probably only going to be an hour. Yeah, all the time I've been sitting around just playing video games the past few days. I should have been editing the Tetris block, which is block number 6 for the retro quilting game, for the retro quilting, yeah, that thing. The retro, yes. No, so Bookworm, there is needle turned applique is something completely different, and I may do a tutorial on that as well. Miss Selvin, can you add that to, yeah, exactly, make it stick. No, that is the raw edge fusible applique, Nick, is the make it stick, make it quick. The needle turned applique is basically a way that you turn the edges in, so that your design basically has no raw edges on it. If you look at a lot of the applique quilts that are super complicated and super pretty, those are probably needle turned applique. I am not great at needle turned applique. I'm not very good at it. I haven't done it a lot, but I have made a quilt using needle turned applique. So I know how to do it. I'm just not very good at it. But it's something I'm going to be doing eventually. Oh, and something I forgot that I picked up. I was super, super excited about this. I finally found a apple core template that fits a charm pack perfectly. It fits the charm pack perfectly. So that I can show everyone how to do an apple core quilt. And it's also curved seams. No. The elephant was raw edge. The elephant quilt was raw edge applique. So so the next time I do a tutorial like this, I may start to work on this one. Because this is going to be one like the cathedral window quilt that actually took me a few weeks to make, and I kind of filmed it over time. So I wanna make an apple core quilt with this. This is so cool. Like, you basically cut it and then you do your notches so you know exactly where to line it up. It's super cool. Yeah. It's better than some of the other ones I've seen. All right, let me do this, and back here, and whoops, there, okay, and then here, whoops, it got stuck. There we are, and then zoom in. Perfect. And then there. Whoops, wrong way. That way. Okay. Let's check it. Whoops. Let's go this way. This camera does not want to sit still. There we are. That's the problem with cameras, right? All right. And here. And haha! All right. So transform 180, beauty. All right, so it's got to go a little bit to the right. I actually have the video of this on a screen that I can see easily as I'm adjusting it. Come on. There we go. Perfect. That's what I want. That's what I want. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, let's move this over and let's film our intros. Oh, and our outros. Oh, why is there there is a bobbin on the floor? Why is there a bobbin on the floor? All right, let's film our intro and outro. Ready? All right, so we're going to do our seams first. Hi, I'm Toni, and today we're going to take a look at matching seams up. If you have a project where you have a seam that's got to go with another seam, but you're not quite sure how to match that up, and then you got to have a perfect point, I'm going to show you the trick of how you can take those seams, put them together, and get a perfect point every single time. Always I know, bobbins and pins. I'm sure, BJ, this may surprise you, but people are not allowed in my studio unless they have hard sole shoes on, because there may be pins everywhere. I know. Shocker, right? Shocker. Shocker. And that is how you sew a perfect seam. Look at that. That is all lined up there. So that's going to work for a bunch of different projects. Hopefully you learned how to line some seams up in here. Don't forget to like this video, follow my YouTube, as well as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, my Quite Nerdy Quilters Facebook group, and Twitch, where I stream live, and I also stream live here on YouTube. Check my schedule on Mondays so you can see when you can catch me live. Okay, all right, there's that one. Now let's go applique next. Hi, I'm Toni, and today we're going to take a look at applique paper. It's something that, we use for applique, for attaching things, for all sorts of stuff, but sometimes we're like, well, why is this not working the way I want, or how do I do this? So I'm going to simplify it for you. I'm going to show you basic use of applique paper, and then what happens if your image is flipped, if it's mirrored. So I'm going to take a look at both of those for you, and how we're going to use some applique paper, and also a little bit how to use a light box. So let's get started. Last one. Should I just go ahead and film the intros and outros for the next 6 blocks for the quilt? No, because I need to change my shirt then. I don't feel like changing my shirt. Because I need to have my, this is my quilt shirt, my quilting shirt for all of that stuff. I don't feel like changing. I'll do it another night. All right, ready? And that is how you use applique paper. Hopefully you learned how to use applique paper. Don't forget to like this video, follow my YouTube, as well as Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, my Quite Nerdy Quilters Facebook group, and Twitch, where I stream live, and I also stream live here on YouTube. Check out my social media on Mondays for my schedule for the week so you can catch me live. There you go. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So I've got to change my shirt because I got to have, yeah. Well, see, I've already filmed the first 6 in that shirt, so I've got to film the other 6 in the shirt, and I don't know where it is. It's fine. I've got the 6th one filmed for the Tetris. Oh, here, let me stop the recording. I've got the 6th one filmed for the Tetris. I just have to finish editing the video. I started editing it, and then I went, I hate doing this. I was actually talking to a friend last night that does lots of Twitch streaming and YouTube editing and stuff, and basically talking about how I love streaming live here on YouTube because I get the interaction. I get if you guys have questions, things like that. It's awesome. And I seem to go faster whenever that happens, which is ridiculous to me for that idea, because normally on Twitch it makes me go slower. But it's great, and I've taught myself how to do pauses and breaks and chat with you guys, and it's easy to edit it. It's great. But I edit these old retro quilt-along videos, and it's like pulling my hair out, and I hate it so much. So as a, if you're interested in YouTube filming and live filming and things like that, be good to yourself with that. Normally, so let's say if we look at a 4-hour stream here for a block, a 4-hour stream will take me only about 2.5 to 3 hours to edit from here on YouTube. If I edit one of the old retro quilt-alongs, it takes me between 12 and 14 hours to edit it because they're horrible. They're so bad. Like, I was not good to myself at all with them. It was so bad. So, yeah. So I'm thinking, again, we've got the, I get the Konami Code quilt finalized. It's basically ready to go. I've got a bunch of edits and things. I want to go ahead and publish the applique block video on Tuesday. And then I can get that URL of that video. And then what I'll do is then probably send that out for everyone on Wednesday. And then that way I'll have that in there. And yeah, and so I very, very excited about that. So now I've got the applique video. This is how you applique. Yeah. Because I think it was Sapphira that asked me, hey, do you have a video on how to applique? And I went, no. I should do that for this one. Yeah. Right? Exactly. Present me needs to be good to future me. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So, yeah, so Bookworm, if you can take a look at the last 2 blocks of the applique block, assume I'm going to be putting in this is a video on how basic applique processes, and the foundation paper piecing block, and then if you're good with both of them, I'm going to go ahead and just and get it all together and ready to go, except for that link that'll publish on Tuesday, and then I can get it out to everyone on Wednesday. So, yay for getting things done! By the way, since you guys are here, sneak peek for Starlight next week. I have some brand new amazing incentives. I'm very excited for this. I have guest streams. I have ways that you can basically game with me and another big name streamer. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. Okay. All right. So I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow on Twitch from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I'm going to try to work up the mock-up for the top of my my Tiger King ball gown dress. So I'm going to do the mock-up of that tomorrow from 1 to 4. And then hopefully we'll get started on that. Then I'll get all that set aside until I can stream either with someone that knows what to help me, or yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, I don't know if I'll be okay, or we'll see tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be lots of doing the mock-up, that stuff. And then Monday we kick off our Starlight fundraising, probably just for a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see how it is. And then here on YouTube in 2 weeks. So next week I'm off because I have a guild lecture that I'm doing. And then in 2 weeks, I will be back here with block number 6 of the Pixelated Halloween Quilt Along a Candle, which is for sale right now. Go pick it up. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.